welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I am Wally Graham, and today I'm speaking with Matthew Bowles of Alto Metals. Now, Matthew, we caught up recently at the RIU Resources Round-up in Sydney. We had a quick chat about announcement you just released leading up to the conference about some drilling results at Indomitable. But then you followed them up when you've got home with even more drilling results. So I think it's fair that you should take the chance to talk to the viewers about both announcements and fill us in what's going on there.
Yeah, thanks, Well. Yeah, it was great to catch up at the conference. It certainly was really busy over in Sydney, and yeah, certainly I thought quite a positive outlook. Yeah, our booth was probably one of the busiest it's been in a while, which was pretty encouraging. But yeah, we put some fantastic results out. As you've been following the story for a while now, and we've been hitting Indomitable really hard last year. It's been part of that progress from the Lords to Vanguard, and Indomitable resource update at the beginning of the year. That pretty much tripled the size of the resource and at Indomitable. And what we've announced just before the conference was one of our best drill results from Indomitable to date. It was pretty spectacular. It was like 16 metres at 13 grams. There's a really high grade zone in there within 3 metres at over 60. So really encouraging. In fact, that whole hole ran over 50 metres at 4.5 from 7. So really nice and shallow. And Indomitable it keeps delivering. So it's got some really good results there.
Oh, and the more recent announcement, that was from a Cessna target called Cessna. And at the risk of sounding flippant, Cessna seems to be flying.
Yeah, Cessna. So there's no resource at Cessna, and so what we did there it's just some first pass drilling. We were following up on some very old historical air core holes, and yeah, that sort of again delivered sort of 16 metres at 7. There's a really nice, very consistent zone of 4 metres running at 20, and it's like every single metre's running at 20. So it's a really consistent sort of good mineralisation. What we're seeing there is that's more of in BIF. And yeah, it's great. That was quite again shallow, certainly less than 100 meters, around about 60. And so what Cessna has done is it's actually extended that overall, I guess, strike of mineralisation, which was defined to 3 kilometres, to now over 3.5. So Indomitable it does keep growing, and that's really exciting for us. It's structurally it's quite complex. So it's got all the right ingredients of what we think could be hosting a much larger sort of mineralised system. And the rigs should be back drilling beginning of next month.
And I think one of the words that you do keep using is consistent, and the results that you've been able to get from Indomitable have been consistent. You were sort of intimating before about the resource you already have there. The drilling that you're doing and that you're going to do, are we looking at a resource update soon?
No, so this isn't resource focused. I mean, I guess all the drilling works towards sort of subsequent resources, but as you've seen today, I mentioned before, we hit Indomitable really hard last year, and that was the same with Vanguard and the Lords the year before. The drilling that we're doing now is more sort of it's targeting some of these interpreted high grade structures. And we've demonstrated that this resource will continue to grow. And you look at our resource chart, we're over that sort of million ounces now, sort of on an unconstrained basis. And we can see the resource will keep growing in Indomitable and Vanguard, but we're getting what we're getting quite excited about is certainly the potential at depth. When you think about Indomitable, it's got a really large oxide sort of footprint, and it really hasn't been tested certainly below 200 meters consistently. And so that's what this round of drilling is now doing, and certainly following up on that 16 meters at 13. And what we're looking at doing is we've got some RC drilling planning to get the orientation, so we can better define the orientation of that, I guess, interpreted sort of structure or pipe. And then there's a number of them throughout the camp, and then we're going to follow that up with some diamond drilling as well. So certainly not resource focused, but this could potentially be that sort of game changer, because if we can demonstrate that this certainly does continue in the fresh, carrying that same sort of grade, that's outstanding, and that's the ideal scenario that we're looking for.
It seems to be the whole project is it's sort of like a whole heap of projects that are together, which it is. But it's also in other places they'd be projects that one would be held by one company, another company, and another company, where you have got, a camp, so to speak. So you've got a lot of projects all together that you're looking to put together as one, basically.
Yeah, I mean, look, Alto's had the ground for some time, and before that, it was sort of quite fragmented. And it's Sandstone's got a very, very long history of mining. There are multiple outstanding sort of targets and old mines and so forth, and that has been part of the challenge of how you prioritise. And I mean, we've got a number of camps. We've got the Indomitable camp and Vanguard camp and the Lords, and that it has been the challenge of how you prioritise and focus. And I guess that consistent, as you mentioned before, I do use the word quite a bit because that has been our approach, and more of a sort of a focused and targeted approach rather than sort of just, I guess, testing everything, which certainly we found our strategies really resonating with investors really well, and it's delivering, right? So that's really the proof that the resource has grown. We're consistently hitting some great results. And we're really excited about where it's going to eventuate for certainly the next few drill programs.
All right, so we're out there drilling very soon, as we talked about before. And is that the only activity going on? Do we expect to hear anything else from anywhere else?
Oh, look, we're always doing low cost regional field work on across the broader property. I mean, there's a lot of, as with most companies, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the background that you don't really, I guess, talk about until it's sort of at a time you can sort of start to bring it forward and talk to investors about it more, I guess, consistently. But yeah, there's quite a bit of regional stuff. We mentioned Hacks and Arroyo that we were doing some work on last year. There's still some sort of like low cost field work going on there. But the real sort of priority focus for us is certainly in Dobro at the moment.
All right, well, Matthew, it's great to catch up again. It was good to catch up last week, and it's good to be able to sort of nail you down so we could have a chat about everything. It was pretty hard to get hold of your booth, as you said, on during last week. So really good. I'm appreciative that you've taken the time to drop into the Roadhouse again, and hopefully we'll catch up again soon.